In today's session, we are going to be talking about the most important decision that you will be making as a business owner. What is that decision? Now, believe me, if you make the wrong decision here in the beginning stages of your business, you could end up paying for it for the rest of your life. What is that decision? The decision is structure. What structure are you going to be setting your business up in? Now, when we talk about structure, it's like an informal business has it's not really registered. It's like a side hustle that you're running, or a small business you're running from home, and you the owner of the business and you kind of doing everything, or a structured business where your business is registered. It's registered as an entity. And there's a whole lot that goes around running an informal business and a formal business, a business that's not registered and a business that is registered. Now, in the next session, next week, I'm going to talk to you about the different kinds of structures and what it means, and then you can look at that. But for today, I just want you to understand the main reasons why it's important for you to set up your business in the right structure right from the beginning. Now, when I say right from the beginning, I don't mean from day one. And it entirely depends on what kind of a business you're running. So let's say you are running a side hustle or a small business, a small informal business, something that you're just starting off as a sideline. It's not like your main business and your main job that you're doing. You're doing something on the side and you're starting it on the side. You don't need to start off by being registered. You can start like testing the waters, feeling the market as you're starting off something, and then you can always register later. But it's important for you to understand the implications in that. And there's three main reasons why you want to have your business set up in the right structure. And I call it the 3 Ps. So let's look at the first reason why. The first reason why you need to set your business up in a proper structure is for protection. And when I say protection, to be able to protect you as the business owner. So when we register a business and we formalize the business structure, there's some form of protection that goes with that. In fact, what happens is you in registering the business, you're separating yourself from the business. So if your business is informal and you're just running the side hustle and it's you and you are the business and the business is you, there's no separation of yourself and your business. There's no separation of your personal life and your business in terms of what you own and what the business owns. You are the business is you. If something had to go wrong in your business, you personally will be liable for whatever comes at you in terms of what's gone wrong in your business. So let's say you get sued, or let's say your business goes under and you have a whole lot of debt in the business, or you buy stock and something goes wrong, and the people who you owe money come after your business. If you are the business, obviously they're going to come after you as well. Obviously, they're going to be able to attach your personal your personal stuff, whatever you own in your personal capacity, they'll be able to attach that, take it away from you to be able to pay for the debt of your business. If you have a registered business and it's registered in a specific entity, it kind of separates you from that. The business is one thing, the business is liable for itself, and you are separate from that. And you can then protect your own personal assets in separating them from your business. So let's say you're married and you and your wife buy a house together, and you buy a whole lot of stuff, and you own a car and all that kind of stuff. And you start your business and something goes wrong in your business. If something goes wrong there, they can come and take your house, your cars, your furniture, the stuff that you and your wife had accumulated together. They can come take that and sell it to offset the debt in your business. But if your business is registered in a proper way and you've structured things properly, you can separate that liability. If they come after the business, they can only attach what's in the business and what belongs to the business, and your personal stuff is secure on the outside of the business. So that's the first reason for having decent structures set up. And when we talk about structures, I would advise you to really speak to a professional, speak to someone who could help you structure even your personal assets in such a way that when or if something does go wrong, that you're protected. Guys, remember that business, there are risks. There are risks in business. I mean, it's not like we start a business and everything always goes right. Things can go wrong. I mean, if you think of what's just happened in the past couple of years in terms of the pandemic that's hit us worldwide, the COVID-19 pandemic, where many countries have closed their borders, and that's affected business. I know so many businesses that have been affected because borders have closed, because of lockdown and all kinds of laws and stuff that governments put in place, banning the sale of alcohol, all kinds of things. That stuff has affected certain businesses. And a lot of businesses have gone out of business during this time. We think specifically of the tourism industry that was affected in the most incredible way, where so many businesses had to close down. Now, if those businesses had debt that they would have had to have serviced, and they were not able to service that debt, and the business wasn't structured properly, and you didn't have your assets, your personal assets, separated from the business, you stand a good chance, or those business owners stand a very good chance to have lost their personal items as well. So point number one, to protect yourself, it's important that you get the structures right. It's important that you talk to somebody who's an expert, and they help you and they advise you on how to structure things so that you are protected from the liabilities. Number two, the second P, we talk about perception. Now, when it comes to perception, it's how the market out there perceives you. Do they perceive you as a side hustle, or someone that's just starting something from home or running an informal business, or do they perceive you as a real business? And when your business is registered, you have a registration number, and it just kind of makes it a little bit more formal. And when you're doing business, especially when you're doing business with big business, when you're trying to secure big deals or big contracts, or you're putting in tenders or proposals, if your business is registered and you've got a company registration number, they perceive you as a real player in the game. But if you don't have, there's no registration number, it's like, I am a business, I'm running it, from home in a little back room there, and it's just a company name, and I am the business, and the business is me. The perception could be that you're not as professional as the kind of person they would want to do business with. So again, guys, don't forget that it's different for every business. So it really does depend on what kind of a business you're running and the perception that you're wanting to create. So I know for myself and for my business, we do a lot of proposals for big corporates. And when I do a proposal for a big corporate, it's important that I have a company registration number. It's important that my company is registered, and that they can see that I'm serious about business, that I'm professional, and that my business is legitimate, and that it's a solid business. So that's the second reason why it's important to get the structure right. And again, guys, remember, it depends on your business, entirely on your business. But my advice for you, again, would be to think about how you want your marketplace, your clients, and your potential clients, how you want them to perceive you when they see your business. And the third P is price. Price. When you are wanting to sell your business one day, if it's a side hustle and it's not registered and you're not structured properly, you probably won't get a high price for your business. But if your business is structured properly, and you've got proper financials, and you've got a proper registered business, and your assets are your assets are recorded, and you can prove the value of your business, you're going to get a much, much, much higher price for your business. I remember one of the businesses that I sold, and I sold the business for 80,000. And in my opinion, it seemed like quite a fair price. 80,000 bucks, a lot of money. And I think it only cost me around 20,000 to start the business and to get it running. And the business was really doing well. and I sold it, but it was an informal business. In fact, it was the second business that I've ever opened many years ago. And I remember when after selling the business, I spoke to a business agent, an agent that markets and sells businesses. And when he looked at the business, he said to me, if your business was registered and you had a proper set of financials, this exact same business, nothing different, same assets, same liabilities, same turnover, everything the same. But if it was registered, if I had a paper trail, if I had the business set up in a proper structure, I could have got 250,000 for that business. 250,000. That's 3 times more than what I did get for the business. Exactly the same business. Only difference is structure. So I want to challenge you here. I want you to go and sit and think about your business and think about these 3 Ps. Am I protected properly? Have I got my structures in place in my business and in my personal life? And when we talk about structures in your personal life, it's not that complicated to get the structures right so that you can protect your assets. So that's the challenge. Just go and think about your business. Am I protected if something goes wrong? What is the perception? How do my clients, my potential clients, the market out there, how do they perceive me? Do they look at me and do they say, this is a real business? And number 3, your price. Remember, guys, we are building an asset of value. No matter what it is you're doing, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's a small business running from home, or it's an informal business, where it's something you're doing on the side, you're building an asset of value. Just by doing the right things in the beginning, just by setting up the right structures in the beginning, it doesn't have to change anything about the way you're doing your business, but just by doing that, getting that right, you could build an asset of value. You could look back in a couple of years and say to yourself, you know what? I've got an asset of value. I've got something that I can sell, that I can hand over. I've got something that's legit, that's proper, that's structured, that has value, and that I can even employ someone else to come and work in the business and carry on with the business, but it's an asset of value. Why would you want to put in so much work, so much time in your business, and then one day just close it down or move on? Or, I mean, we think about retirement. I don't know about you, but for me, I don't have any desire to retire one day. But you know what would be nice is if one day I could look at what I've built, I could look at the business that I've built, I could look at the structure, and I could say, this is an asset of value. This is something that I could sell. I could take the money, I could invest it, I could start something new, I could retire, I could take care of myself for the rest of my life because I have built an asset of value, something that's valuable that I could sell. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in one of the later sessions when we talk about succession planning. But for now, just remember, build an asset of value. Next week, I'm going to be going into a little bit more details in terms of the different types of structures and what the liabilities look like and how to structure yourself right. And we'll be looking at it from the South African perspective, but it doesn't matter where your business is, what part of the world, it's more or less the same. But your homework and the challenge, again, is during this week, just to go and look at these 3 Ps. Think about these 3 Ps, get your mind around that. Remember, once your mind has been stretched by a thought or an idea, it can never again go back to its original size. So often what we do in these sessions is I like to just stretch your mind and stretch your thinking a little bit. I like to expose you to new thoughts and new ideas so that you can go back and work through this in this next week. And then next week, when we go into a little bit more detail in terms of structure, then you can make a decision. I really just want you to take this thing seriously. Even if it's just something that you're doing on the side, take it seriously. Build something proper, build something decent. Why not? Why not build an empire? Why not build something that's incredibly valuable? You're going to do the work anyway. Let's just do it properly.